What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Off Track Fixed Gear podcast. Joined by myself, per usual. We have Deacon Wong, Pizza Man, and special guest today. He's a longtime fixed gear legend, been in the game longer than all of us, Antonio Wothe.
Hello, everybody.
It's the big two-tone.
AKA Two-Tone, AKA Antonio Wothe. That is his real last name. Warhol is not his last name. How you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm great. J-Ball, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
For as long as we've known each other, you've pronounced it Wothe. And the correct pronunciation is Wothe.
Wothe. Dang.
Yeah, but Wothe is fine. Wothe is fine. It's better than Warhol.
I'm here with Antonio Warhol.
And for the longest time also, I was the whole community was spelling your name wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it happens everywhere, really. So I'm used to it.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I was, not just me, the whole community was spelling it Antonio with a Y-O at the end, but it's actually I-O, and my whole matrix was shattered when I learned this information, because Y-O just was so like that was like you, that like defined your name, in my opinion. Like all of your edits have Y-O in the official title.
Yeah, I've been using Y-O since like 15, and I've just lately been phasing out of it just because of work, really. But happy to use both.
You got to use that government name now, actually, you spell it right and everything.
Yeah, I want my paychecks.
Yeah, so it's Wothe. That's how you, and it's Antonio with an I. Nobody get it twisted now. We're all on the same page. Everybody's listening.
Like that Bernstein Bears thing.
Yeah, it's the Mandela effect, but just for Fixie. I wanna dive right into a question, Antonio, which is, why did you start riding fixed gear? Because I know you have a BMX background. What made you switch to a fixed gear and stick with it?
Okay. So I rode BMX for a while I was younger. I don't remember the grades exactly, but between like 7th grade and maybe through high school, and it was fun. I was pretty good at it. I had a lot of friends in the Milwaukee scene, but I just never had a driver's license and I never had a car. So when I grew up, I wasn't able to really balance riding a BMX bike because I just needed to get places. So I ended up getting a road bike. I fell off of BMX for a couple of years. And of course, after riding BMX for so long, anything that you get on with wheels, you want to do tricks on.
Yeah.
But this started on this like road bike that I got for $10. It was like this old Trek road bike. I just like doing wheelies or something. Just not even like real wheelies, just pulling up, going off of curbs and stuff. And I don't remember how I ended up getting a fixed gear.
So you're doing wheelies on the road bike on the freewheel?
Yeah, but not like we're not holding them up, just like going off of curbs, going.
Nah, you're OG wheelie boy right here.
Yeah. No, I don't know. And then I got a fixed gear. I don't know how, but I think it was the Trek T1.
Damn, that's a really cool first fixed gear.
It's a baller one.
I forgot how I ended up getting it, but it was and I forgot who even introduced me to the tricks. It may have been Chris Loves Pitbulls, Chris Sundet.
My dude.
Because I think he had a cutter at the time.
So Chris was actually into fixed gear before you.
Yeah. Was the cutter came in pink, right? Like a Pepto-Bismol pink?
Yeah, cutter V2.
Yeah. So I think that's what he had. And we had like this meetup called TNR, Thursday Night Ride in Milwaukee. And that was like right when bike polo was like really big and people were just starting to get into like doing pull-up wheelies and barspins and stuff.
Yeah, about what year are we talking? Like 2009?
2009 through 11. around then, yeah. Yeah, and then it just progressed from there.
And you never had the desire to go back to BMX? You just love the fixed gear or what?
Yeah, it was just like more practical because I was able to get places. Didn't have a car then, so I was able to get to work while also like being able to do tricks on this thing. So I think that's like what appealed to it to all of us at first is like it was a dual deal. You know, we can like commute on it and then also just trick right when we get somewhere. Yeah. It just progressed from there. Chris introduced me to Trick Track, and the rest is history, I guess.
How was it having a like pivotal bike shop at the time? Like, honestly, I think there's still probably one of the best bike shops around. Like that being Ben Cycle. Like, how is that being like your local pillar of the scene?
Yeah, I was just super fortunate just to have them right in my backyard. Drew and Earl at Ben's were just really wanting to get it off the ground. So they had the Bruiser. The Bruiser was big in polo. They were working with Prawley on like the colorways. They had the Mishka colorway. And it was just perfect timing that when I got into it, they were looking just to make another frame that was just a little bit more focused on fixed gear freestyle. I don't know what it was called at the time. Trick Track, I think, right? So I had worked with them on I was able to work with them on making a frame. We had a few prototypes. We had like these cool grips. They were even making a sprocket. Yeah, it was cool. It was really great, but it just wasn't sustainable to keep riding in Milwaukee.
Were you Milwaukee's first sponsored rider?
I think probably was.
Did Spencer ride for them too? Spencer Nuzzi, the guy who used to be on Mishka?
I don't know that name.
He was like a skater or something.
I know AJ Austin rode for them too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so it may have been probably AJ. There was another rider that I was collaborating with on the frame. I can't remember who it was.
Did Rick Anderson ride for Milwaukee?
I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
So would you say you picked up a fixed gear in what year you think was your starting point, like 2008-ish? Because you've been in so much like early content. Like I just like will see you in cameos and stuff too, and like the dates go back pretty early. I'm like, damn, Antonio's been in this for a long time.
Yeah, I am an old guy. Thank you for pointing that out.
Hey, you could have been in it early but young.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think it was like 2009. Around then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing my first exposure to you was your Raw 2000, not your Welcome to Raw, but your Raw 2011 summer edit. And I remember watching that and honestly at the time it was so outside of what I thought was capable on a fixed gear that I couldn't even process the tricks you were doing, like all these like stalls on your pegs and foot jams and stuff. I couldn't even comprehend it. And now looking back at that today, I can think, wow, that is so ahead of its time. And like people aren't even doing that stuff like today. Back then, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just fortunate enough to have the BMX background. That's really all it was. Like, I could have taken that and done it on, one of those tiny BMX bikes or just like anything with wheels. It just worked out that way, and I'm glad it did.
That's so cool. And then when did you meet with or get connected to Tori and get put on Raw? How did that whole connection happen?
Good question. I don't remember how we got in touch because there was an Instagram back, or there was, but I don't think that I was on it. I don't remember how we first got in touch.
Facebook? TrickTrack.org?
It may have been TrickTrack. Yeah, it may have been TrickTrack. But I remember him messaging me just when I put something out, and just it worked out. Tori was great. Stayed with him in New York for Bicycle Film Festival. He came to Minneapolis he came to Milwaukee and then Minneapolis. We road tripped up to Minneapolis for what's that company from over there?
All City?
All City, yeah, the All City Jam where Boothby first. I think that was like Boothby's first appearance. He just like came out of nowhere.
Wasn't that the first truck driver?
May have been. Was that Boothby?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Maybe like 2010-ish. I remember, because obviously I wasn't there, but I remember seeing footage of it, and like everybody was like, there was no hype. Like everyone was really quiet during his run, and that was always really weird to me, like watching the footage. I'm like, why is nobody getting hyped about this? He just did like a first on a Fixie.
Do you remember Tori's famous quote from that video? He goes like, somebody say something, damn it.
The fuck? Someone say something, damn it!
that was Tory.
Yeah. I think it was during Boothby's run. Yeah. Part of that may have been also too just like nobody really knew who Boothby was at the time. Like he really just showed up out of nowhere.
Dang.
Yeah.
I think Wonka still won that competition too, though.
That seems right.
But that's wild. Boothby came out of nowhere and doing truck drivers. I guess he was like you with a BMX background and just kind of like came naturally on the fixed gear.
Definitely.
Which it doesn't seem to for a lot of BMXers, because a lot of BMXers will hop on a fixed gear like, whoa, I can't do anything on this. I'm not going to strap in. I can't get any air off the ground at all. So
yeah, well, you just give them time and they'll figure it out. They'll be able to transfer it. Definitely.
I always tell them that. I'm like, dude, a week on that, it would make sense to you.
No. Sorry about my dog.
It's so okay.
You're good.
For back to you riding in Milwaukee, was there a really strong scene there? I mean, Ben's cycle being there must have had some kind of scene, and then why did you leave?
Yeah, there was a small scene. Like I said, we did this thing called TNR, Thursday Night Rides, which was just a ride, but then it just eventually turned into us going to like a parking garage and doing tricks, and that filtered out a lot of people. But in that small group, we had Chris, Rick, Sam Erickson, the COG guys. I don't remember. Do you remember the magazine COG?
Oh yeah.
They were slowly getting into it, not riding, but just covering it. And at the time, they were like a pretty big, like fixed gear zine, I guess.
Were they Milwaukee based?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, Kevin and Pete.
Did Sam Erickson? Because I only know Sam Erickson as like a content guy. Did he actually ride?
Yeah, he had a bike. He did film a lot, but he had a bike, and I think he may have been on Trick Track 2 with Chris early on. Yeah, I wish I remembered how that all went down. But they definitely were into it before I was, and introduced me to that.
And then why did you make the move to Long Beach?
So Milwaukee is great weather. It is awesome, as long as it's not winter. And when it is, then you're kind of just like limited to parking garages and Four Seasons skate park. And
Which
to have Four
after
Seasons,
seeing that, I can't complain. After seeing
Yeah.
Four Seasons, I wouldn't be complaining. But just
yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It's great. It's like a great place to have. It's heated. Well, I mean, it feels like it's heated when you're in there. It was great, but there was just like so much activity going on in SoCal at that time. And I had been in Milwaukee all my life, and there's like this opportunity just to go over there with some friends. And it all really happened suddenly.
how did all that come together? What's the origin of, because it's Fixie Factory. You guys all moved to Long Beach, and it's Fixie Factory that you guys moved into. What's the origin of Fixie Factory? I know the original, I think, was you, Chris, and I think Matt and one other person, or am I wrong?
Yeah, Vinny.
Huh?
Vinny,
right. Oh, we're not even talking about Vinny. Okay, we'll get to
Vinny's
it.
the forefather, yeah.
What was the origin of the Fixie Factory? How did you come in contact with Matt? Where was Matt staying at the time? And we'll talk about Vinny. Yeah, well, and then Vinny as well. Yeah, where was Vinny from?
Well, he's from Minneapolis.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a part of the group that you guys were riding, like the parking garages with. Like, how did he come?
different city.
I don't know.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that. Sorry.
Minneapolis is 7 hours away from Milwaukee.
Right. Sorry.
But I don't know. I'm trying to think, and I did meet Vinny once before we moved over there. And so Matt and Corey were in Milwaukee, and they were just on a trip. We were out riding. I think we rode out to Minneapolis, and the idea had come up, like, let's do it. Like, Chris and I, let's move to California. And then pretty suddenly, Vinny was just like, while Matt and Corey were on the trip, I found a spot. It's not ready yet, but it'll be ready in a few weeks. Sent us pictures. It was in construction, the Fixie Factory. Like, there's paint all over. There's like those plastic sheets all over, and it didn't look great. And it never really looked great, but it was a spot in California, and it was something that we could afford.
Now, what was rent at the time? I don't think I never asked that question back in the day.
I don't remember. I want to say like 15, maybe.
Yeah,
it's probably at least 24 now.
For those of you who don't,
15 to 18.
For those of you who don't know, Pizza would just hang out here with that. We'll
get to that.
Did Vincent?
So Vinny said,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Vinny said, I found a place. It'll be ready in a couple of weeks. Matt and Corey went home. Chris and I, paid our last month of rent. Got our bags packed. I went with only a bike box, everything that I could shove in the bike box, and my backpack. I think he did the same.
Wow.
And we just flew out to California, and that was it.
Were Matt and Corey there for Midwest Mayhem, or was it just a filming trip?
I think it was just a filming trip. I think that they just came.
Oh, cool.
There may have been something. I don't remember though.
Yeah, interesting. Did Vincent move to Long Beach from Minneapolis the same time you and Chris went from Milwaukee, or was he already there?
Feeling that he was already there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. If anyone is completely lost, by the way, because I know we have a lot of people who aren't caught up with all of fixed gear history, the Fixie Factory is a legendary house. Actually, Antonio, can you describe what Fixie Factory is? I want you to describe what Fixie Factory is.
Fixie Factory is a house was an apartment in Long Beach, right on the edge of the East Village. And first residents were myself, Chris, Vinny, who owns Unknown Bike Co. in the United States, and Matt, aka Wolftron, and those were the 4 original tenants. And throughout the time that I had lived there, was maybe 20 people that had been in and out of there. But majority bike people, some skate people, some people from Brazil, some people from Korea. It was kind of, it was just like it was right on the edge of downtown, so it was a good meeting spot. We had a rail and a parking lot and a McDonald's and a Walgreens that were 24 hours, so it was perfect.
We have to talk about the rail.
Before we talk about the rail or any of that, who came up with the name Fixie Factory? Was that like, did you guys get there and then decide? Did it come naturally? How'd that happen?
May have been Matt. And I think it's around that time Fantasy Factory was popular.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think Matt, I slightly remember being in his room and him coming up with that.
To take a step backwards for a second, I want to talk about Midwest Mayhem a little bit. For those of you who don't know, Antonio was the organizer of Midwest Mayhem. There were 3 competitions, and they were some of the most legendary competitions that have happened in the fixed gear scene. How did you come about organizing that, and who'd you do that with, and how was that? What are some good memories from that experience?
Yeah, so one of 3 co-organizers, Chris and Eric being the others. It was right at the start of just like people putting pegs on their bikes and just getting a little bit more BMX style in the fixed gear tricks. And winter had hit, and I remember the 3 of us just we were on trick track a lot, and there's all these people that wanted to come together, finally meet after all this time. And I remember we were at this restaurant called George Webb's, Chris, Eric, and I, and we were just talking about putting together this small meetup. Have some pallets, get some spare wood, put something together just to get everybody together. And by everybody, I mean like 10 people that are local to Milwaukee. And so we started to come up with some ideas. I was calling like some empty warehouses in Milwaukee and, hey, this is what we're trying to do for the weekend. I was like a kid. I don't know. Can we rent it out for the weekend for a few $100s? It's empty already. We're just going to be on bikes and bring some pallets. And I got like hung up on because of course they don't want to take the liability of just like having a bunch of, filthy kids on bikes with wood. But yeah, we put it on Trick Track, and then people just started saying that they were going to show up, and people from all over saying that they were going to show up, and it turned into this thing where like, okay, we need to get an actual space because it's a pretty big deal.
Wow. And was that pretty much the first time all of the big names were together?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. And then right after that was the Richmond Jam, which was the second time.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the first time that I think everybody got together. I remember it was just so weird. Everybody's meeting each other for the first time, but after talking with each other for like years on Trick Track, a bunch of people came out for that. And that was actually the first time that bikes were allowed at Cream City Skate Park, which is pretty cool too.
Oh, wow. That's monumental. Who was there? Tom LaMarche, Wonka.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was there.
Tom Mosher. Was Tom Mosher a judge?
He may have been. One of those guys got hurt and just ended up judging. I think the guy from All City was there too, Jeff Frayne.
Jeff Frayne. Was Tori there? Soil?
He may have been. Yeah, I want to say yes. And then some guys from, like Eric Puckett, AJ
damn.
Austin, all those like Texas guys came out. I don't know who came out from California.
No Congo?
I don't know. The Congo, I first met him at the Richmond Jam.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I remember anyway. Yeah, so that's Midwest Mayhem.
And then Midwest Mayhem 2 was at Four Seasons, changed venues. Why the venue change, and how was that compared to the first one?
It was good. I mean, that was probably the best one out of all of them, in terms of just like turnout and quality of like riding, and just like quality of the event too. The first one we had the space where we premiered a video. I forgot which video it was, but the space was really small. The second one, that space where we premiered another video was really good. Local to the skate park, we were able to ride from that spot to the skate park. It was kind of a ride, but it was better than the first one where we had to load everybody's bikes into a bend cycle truck and then drive it all the way out to Cream City, which was across town.
Wow.
There was like a blizzard going on. But yeah, Midwest Mayhem 2 was great.
I have a question too about Midwest Mayhem 2. So I know that Wonka was there. Why is there no footage of him there though? Did he not ride? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. And Chris might remember, but I remember you bringing this up recently on the pod, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't remember. He may have been hurt.
That sounds like a Wonka thing. I feel like Wonka did that with a lot of competitions, would get hurt during warm up or something. And then you came back for the third year, Midwest Mayhem 3 in 2012, which I didn't go to. I didn't go to any of them, but I know that the third one had a lesser turnout. Is that right?
Yeah, that's when things started to get a little slow. People not really wanting to travel to Milwaukee for this thing. But even though it was a smaller turnout, it was great. We had all of 4 seasons to ourselves. And so like the energy was just really great. I think for a lot of time we didn't even have music. It was just like the sounds of our bikes and people pumping each other up.
It's pretty cool, actually.
In 3, we had Fixie Famous there, I think.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting to get like 2 different edits from Fixie Famous, and this is like, who is Fixie Famous?
I still don't know.
Yeah, somebody with money. I don't know.
Boothby did backflips.
Yeah.
And called you Antonio Warhol.
Yes, that was Midwest Mayhem 3.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I also just want to say, I commend you, J-Ball, for not competing in the SMC comp, because when I put together Midwest Mayhem, I couldn't help myself. It's just like you want to compete. And so I did, and now looking back, maybe like a little cringe that I did that.
No, I don't think so.
But anyway, I just commend you on not doing it.
Well, you
really want to get out there.
He would have won easily.
No, it's not true.
It's true.
Somebody else throw a comp so that J-Ball can enter.
Yeah.
And so that J-Ball can get a trophy.
It's what we've been waiting for. What about Midwest Mayhem 4? Oh.
We've been teasing it for 10 years.
Oh shit!
The 10-year reunion.
Bay Area Mayhem.
NorCal Mayhem, yeah.
Maybe.
Someone's got to do it.
The magic of it was being in a skate park. Just because it was like an evening thing.
Real.
But I don't really know of any skate parks, especially here in the Bay Area.
I don't think it's cringe that you competed, especially because as a viewer, I was really happy to watch you ride the park and all the recap footage. So I'm happy you did.
Okay.
And then we were almost gonna glaze past this, but the antics, the Midwest Mayhem 2 antics. And
I think that was the best part of it to me.
Yeah. All of the
watching the videos, that's what made me rewatch them.
Dude, all of the TTV like raw just phone coverage of the things that were happening outside of all the riding. It looked like just absolute chaos, and like I would have been stressed out if I was like hosting that situation.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot going on, and as you know, there was some legal implications for some of these antics.
Oh no!
But I mean, it was all fine. There's not a lot that I can remember, honestly, besides like fireworks and green lasers.
You guys fucked up at Denny's, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, and somebody told it back to me, but I don't remember it. But apparently, yeah, there was like something else going on at the Denny's, right? Like somebody else was getting wild at the Denny's, and then we just picked it back up.
Green lasers.
I have no idea.
I remember commuting from the video venue to the skate park, Midwest Mayhem 2, there's a lot of bridges in Milwaukee. And the bridge had, on the way to the skate park, one of these bridges had gone up. And this whole group just jumped the bridge.
What the fuck?
No way.
I couldn't. I wasn't part of that group. I got across it, but they all jumped it, and it was wild. We're not talking like a crazy gap, but it gets. I mean, it goes high. It's crazy.
Dang, dude. And then, how many
like these out of towners to do that? Yeah, it's nuts.
How many people stayed in your house?
It was a lot. It was a lot. Apparently, Kareem got like a crazy rash or something from my house, which I don't remember. But I mean, there were a lot of people, and people were standing on the floor, and people were sweating and stuff. So I don't doubt that Kareem got a rash from my house.
Hell yeah!
I was just recently rewatching some of that Midwest Mayhem like B-roll antics, because I know that Matt Wolfdrawn put together like some like a video of all the shit that went down outside of the competition, and I remember like Wonka was like, it must have been in your house or someone's house, was like just talking about like being good at something, and maybe you guys were talking about a video game, and I hear you in the background go like a snarky comment. You're like, well, you're pretty bad at that, so what are you talking, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think we were playing the Impossible game. And if you're not familiar, that's just like a block that you just push one button just to jump over other blocks. And I remember there was like all of us were in the living room just passing around the sticks trying to get through the Impossible game. And it may have been that he said that he was good at it or something.
Yeah, you're like, well, you're pretty bad at that, so what do you mean? So
I gotta rewatch that.
It's so funny. I wish I could have just been like a fly on the wall during all of those interactions. Would have been so happy. Like Jake Santos picking up, or no, like it was Jake and someone like making Sean Coates and Mike Din fight each other by grabbing their hands.
I remember that one, yeah.
Picking up Soil, aka Tori, upside down and like 69ing him.
I remember, yeah, Jacob and Mike Din, and I forgot, Sean Coates, who it's his birthday today, I'm pretty sure, so happy birthday, Sean Coates.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
I'm pretty sure they all drove in Jacob's Explorer, like overnight, from California to Midwest Mayhem 2.
That's a long drive.
Whoa. Back. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Even Slum was there. Matt Reyes was at Midwest Mayhem too. There's so many people there.
Real? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he made a recap video of it. He got second place.
Yes. Now I remember. That was the best edit to come out of it.
And it's gone.
For real?
Yeah, you can't find it. That's like I have a small list of edits that we're missing now because I found a lot of them on Chinese YouTube, but that one, the Midwest Mayhem Street edit he made and this Midwest Mayhem Park edit he made are both still MIA. So if you're listening to this and you somehow downloaded that video, please let us know, because I loved that video. It was such a good recap. It was a good vibe and like made me really wish I was there. And then you had, what was that?
He doesn't even have it?
He probably does, but I don't know if he'll ever post it. I've been bugging him and annoying him to post all of his old deleted videos, but who knows when he'll get around to that, or if it'll ever happen.
Just gotta have faith.
But there were so many people there. You had like Congo, Matt, I don't know if Corey was there actually, but Congo and Matt were there. Tom LaMarche got first. Boothby was there. Slum, dude, that was it was truly like the gathering of the Avengers at the time. To be back in 2011 as a high school kid watching all that stuff.
If we did another one, would you guys come out?
100%.
Yeah.
I have a rail I want to hit there. It's on my list.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even if there was just like a promise of, 15 people, it would be worth putting together. We don't even have to make like a big show of it. Just get everybody together in Milwaukee again, ride seasons overnight.
Well,
That park is so sick. It's like it's one of the nicest indoor parks I've been to. Granted, like I mean, we have vans, but or we had vans, I should say. But like
RIP.
Four Seasons was so fun.
I would love to ride that. I feel like it's different now with events because they're so few and far between now that if one happens, everyone goes to it. I don't know. That could just be a optimistic thinking, but I feel like it's that way.
A California thing.
What was that?
It could just be a California thing. I don't know that we may get the turnout that y'all did at SMC, but I'm not looking for that. So if I have your guys' commitment to go,
I'm going.
We'll get it going.
Oh, I would go. 100%. Hey, sound off in the comments if you would also attend a Midwest Mayhem 10-year reunion competition in Milwaukee.
We just need 15 people. That's it. So
Just
yeah.
I'm going.
that's enough.
Whether the
people
knee
for
is
the
working or
Antics for
not,
sure.
I'm competing.
Oh shit.
You gotta put Pizza and Deacon head to head. Do you still talk to Sam Erickson?
No.
No?
We haven't talked in a while. No, I think we still follow each other on Instagram. I think he just got married, so congrats, Sam. Or engaged. Either way, congrats. But we haven't talked in a while. I think his videos are still on Vimeo though. So if you haven't downloaded those already, then get to downloading.
Oh, I have.
Nice.
I've even
Stolen the content.
I've
Sam,
uploaded.
Chris, if you're watching this, we'll get it going soon. Midwest Mayhem 4.
I have another question, kind of random. Did you ever ride Ray's mountain bike park on your FGFS bike?
No.
Or was that
I
past
couldn't.
when you already left to Fixie Factory?
I think it may have been there. There's a little overlap, but I never had the chance. I had some friends that worked there. I think that did marketing for Rays, but no, never had the chance. It looked like a lot of fun.
That place was really cool too. Very randomly cool.
So
You checked it out?
Yeah, I rented a dirt jumper, and it was really fun.
that sounds sick.
So I have a question, Milwaukee related. In one of your edits, where you got a nosebleed, is that what was that your home park? It's like a really rugged, like there's like tiny little obstacles everywhere, and that's
Oh. Yeah.
small quarter
so
pipe.
that was not a nosebleed. That was Sam was working on. He was doing like a film class or something, and he had come up with like this fake blood and wanted to see what it looked like. So we thought it'd be funny to just do this thing where like I run off the ramp, and because if you watch the clip back, like I just jump the spine and then I just jump off my bike and like throw up blood.
Right, yeah, that's why
I
I
knew
thought
it.
it was just like a.
I knew it was fake this whole time. I knew it.
No,
That's such
sorry
a
about the immersion.
that's such a memorable moment though in an edit. That's so good. I love that you guys threw that in. What's your favorite edit that you've like solo video you've been a part of? Out of all your edits.
Probably solo. Probably the first one. Just because that was my first time ever filming anything like that for myself, and I don't know. It was fun to put together.
Was that treated 2010 your first one, or which one was your first edit that you made?
Yeah, treated right.
There was a welcome to RAW in 2009 on your red bruiser.
Okay, I'm getting them mixed up, but anyway, whatever was the first one that I filmed, like whatever solo edit that I first filmed, that was probably my favorite, just because I had never done anything like that before. Yeah, they're all fun to watch back, and hopefully I have a new one.
2012.
My next favorite one will be the one that I put out next, which will be in 5 years.
I see that you've
Don't
been
blue ball me like that.
well,
Don't blue ball me
well,
like that.
I've seen you tease like night filming and stuff, like setting up lights. And are you filming for that, or is that just are you just riding?
Just riding, flirting with the idea, but with the amount that I get to ride, it's tough to, get the ball rolling. I really wanted to get something together this year, 22. That didn't work out, but I think this year I'll probably be able to scrape something together.
It could just be like
It won't
Corey. You just have a year and a half long edit, or however long it's going with him. Just
Or
not
snow.
5 years. No.
Tenure edit.
No.
Pizza, we're limiting you to 1 year, bro.
That's fine. That's
you only got a
fine.
year,
That's fine.
dude.
You just
Yeah.
you can't. Antonio is different. Antonio
No,
actually has like the capability and actual skill right now.
Stop it. Stop
create a-
it. Stop. They heard the backstory. They know you were there at Fixie Factory when they were at Fixie Factory, okay? You have no excuse, bro.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
We've
true.
all seen the 180, Pizza. We saw your 180, bro. We know you got it.
Which one?
See, there's so many.
There's so many.
Exactly.
The one off the
180.
the one off the 5-stair. The one off the 5-stair you did back in the day.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing, man.
And he said it's nothing.
compared to
Oh.
this
He can
guy
do them all
over here.
day.
But by
I'm
the
just gonna. Oh yeah, an edit full 180s. No, thank you. I'd rather
I would
watch
watch that.
Antonio's. No, shut your mouth.
But by the way, for a quick, for a brief history on your own edits, Antonio, because I have your page pulled up on my other screen here. They were all in 2010. Like you made 4 edits in 2010. One was at 4 Seasons. It's called Bone Zone at 4 Seasons. And then one was TNT pre-Midwest Mayhem edit, where you're on some really small bars and you're in a parking garage.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
Nope. Was that on a blue bike? Maybe. Like the super small front wheel.
Yes. Well, hold on, it's about to play. It's like you're in the garage. Oh, yeah. Wait, it's not blue. I don't know. You do a 180 bar though.
Okay, actually, I take it back. My favorite edit, though, is I think it's treated because that's the one where you do the fireworks at the end.
Yeah.
The people at the bus stop. And just because of that clip alone, that would make it my favorite solo edit.
Yeah, that was a great edit. And then you got that cop at the beginning that gave you a lot of trouble too.
Yeah, him and I had beef for a couple of years. He was always the guy that was working whenever we were trying to ride it. Because you remember at the beginning, he goes, yeah, it's you again. Yeah, calling the police.
You're like, yep, I'm leaving.
Yep.
It's so funny. It's like, it's just a bank. Who cares?
Yeah.
So dumb. Yeah, and then you had treated at the end of you had RVA welcomes Antonio Wothe in 2010 on your red bruiser, treated on your raw bruiser, and then summer 2011 the next year on another raw bruiser, which was a prototype, correct? That one never came out?
Yeah, if it has the one, if that's the one with the curved seat tube, then that's the prototype.
And what happened there?
It got stuck there. I moved to California. Communications were just not, it just took a while to get. If we wanted some changes to be made, we had to get that done overseas and then get the new Proto over, and it just took too long. And then by Vinny was running unknown, and it was just like very convenient just to go that direction.
And
For the
then
record, before we talk about unknown, I owned your prototype bruiser, the 26 one.
Okay.
I bought it from
Nice.
the yard sale,
I think I remember hearing this.
and my buddy
sold it
bought
to you?
It was just sitting there, like I think it was sitting behind where everything was, and I was just like,
Okay.
"Hey, can I buy that?" And you looked at me and you're like, you like opened your like stack of cash and you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
Oh.
Antonio.
Great memory.
Because like my buddy
Remember-
bought your camo MTXs off that bike, and he still has them to this day. They're just
white
rotting in
ones?
his backyard. Yeah, he still has them.
Cool.
And you were like, "Well, I sold the wheels."
Classic.
Like you looked at me and you're like, "He was already holding the wheels," and I was like, "Can I buy the frame?"
Were there multiple prototypes of that frame?
Yeah. Who was the guy that rode with Sam in Baltimore? Maybe-
Colin Foster.
Yeah, I think Colin also rode for Milwaukee. And he had a prototype too.
He had orange.
Okay. Yeah. So he had a prototype. We talked about it for a little bit. I had a few of them,
Right.
and I think I may have bent something on one of them on one of the early prototypes.
That's the one I have.
There's a handful.
Or had.
Okay.
Well, my
He
buddy
was great at
happened to
doing
it?
Smith grinds.
my buddy at the time, Christian Musgrave, ended up with one of your prototypes also.
And they just went all over Long Beach.
I don't know how that happened. I thought you gave I think he said you gave it to him. Do you remember Christian Musgrave?
Yeah.
He's like friends with Mike.
I could see me just at one point I was just whatever. I mean, it was in that cabinet that we had in Fixie Factory, and anything in there was kind of like up for grabs. As I'm sure Pizza remembers.
Pizza, how much free stuff did you get from Fixie Factory?
Actually, okay, so the only thing that I really ever got for free was, I don't know if you remember this, Antonio, but me, you, and I think Congo went to Thief's house, and I got 2 free shirts.
Dang.
Wait,
That
who's
was
Thief?
the only free things.
I
Yeah,
cannot confirm or deny that Thief is a person or that Thief has a house.
Who's Thief? How did you go to Thief? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't
What's that?
remember.
What's
I don't
Thief?
remember how I was.
He went
able
into
to
the
tag
cloud.
along to that, but we rode to said location.
How did you talk to an
And-
entity?
I don't know how it ended up there with you guys. He was like, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
They
He was like-
they flashed you and put you to sleep, and then you woke up at at Thief's house.
You're just
Yeah, I
holding
had
2
like
shirts.
I have pictures of him, but like, and I remember Joe got into the big thing. He was trying to yell at me saying they were his shirts, but I just packed him, like got him from a box of shirts. I don't know there it is, but
That was really the only free thing you got from the Fixie Factory?
maybe
I don't believe it.
some sleep. Maybe I mean I got to be able to sleep on the couches and
Definitely didn't get sleep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also just want to clear the record that Fixie Factory isn't canceled. And that whatever happens in this podcast about, and is said about Fixie Factory, it's not true.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
You had a
What
bunch
was-
of children
wait.
sleeping on your couches.
What was do you remember the first bar that was put up on the wall on the ceiling of bars? Do you remember the first
The
This is a
graveyard.
Great question.
first set of
probably-
handlebars?
Yeah, it was probably honestly unknowns. And by the end, there was probably like 16 pairs of unknowns up there.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Bendy bars. Sad
Is
bars.
it true that they came bent?
No, I don't believe that they came bent, but I don't think that they were heat treated. And so they were, one session could do it.
I never told you this. That Vinny, he scanned me out of a small unknown V3. I told him that the rear end, one of them was bent, and I was like, "Hey, this is bent," and it was obviously bent. He would try to make a big gripe about it. He goes, fine, give me it. And I said, okay, I had a small, and he goes, okay, I'll get one for you. And he comes out with a medium. I go, the C2 is obviously a lot higher from the small to the medium. I go, dude, this is not a small. And he goes, yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
You got
I go,
gaslit.
Vinny, yeah, I was like, he got gaslit plus bullied into believing this thing was a medium. And I never forgave him after that. And I had just a bad taste in my mouth from Vinny after that.
All my homies
Sure
hate
he meant
unknown.
well.
Huh?
No, I'm sure he meant well. He just thought maybe you fit a size medium better.
No, I wanted
Dude.
the small because it was.
Now you're getting
evolving,
gaslit by Antonio.
Oh my god!
Fixie Factory is gaslit.
Dude,
They are all gaslighters.
Scott with LDG.
Hey, you know, I mean,
Scott with LDG would do the same thing to everybody for hammers. He'd be like,
He didn't even know what size was in the box. The box didn't even know either.
no, he would just like, people would ask for small. He'd be like, yeah, it's probably small, but it was like a medium or a large even sometimes. Yeah. Yikes. And there was nothing on those hammer frames on the bottom bracket that like showed the size or anything. So you just had to go by looks. It was pretty bad.
I think at least on the unknowns, those were stamped. So I think you could have just shown him that it had an M in there.
Yeah, little kid pizza didn't think about that one, huh?
Yeah, young and dumb. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, Antonio, please tell us about inviting a gang of kids from the local area to your house to play Call of Duty.
Sticks and Stones contest.
Sticks and Stones tournament. Yeah, we had already just had a lot of people coming over, and of course, when we're not riding, we're playing Xbox. And Sticks and Stones was the game of choice. Lots of fun, as you guys know. One of the best game modes ever.
Yep. Truly.
Humiliated, right? Humiliation, whatever. So yeah, I mean, we played a lot of Sticks and Stones, and of course, just like we all are, we're competitive. So let's take it up a notch, and let's make a tournament out of it. So I made a flyer. It was great turnout, a ton of kids. Elliot ended up winning. He won. If that's what you want to call it.
You remember what happened, right? You can back up my story onto what he did, right? It was bullshit.
I forgot who he was against, but
it was my buddy Erico.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he made the Kool-Aid worms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, once he ran up a score, I think he just ran. Ran up the score and ran. And hey, it's smart. It's a strategy.
Oh, I hated that, man. I was so dumb.
Hey, man, play to win. Play to win.
Hated it.
What should...
Because, because it was Elliot, we really couldn't say anything. Because it was like, well, fuck. It's like, it's Elliot. Like, you can't... man.
You guys just don't get a winner's mindset, clearly.
No.
What should be the next video game competition that the Fixed Gear community hosts? Because I kind of want to host like a Fixed Gear Smash Bros tournament.
Honestly, I think it should be Melee.
It should be Melee.
I think it's Melee.
If you
make everybody play.
If local people, if you would come to a Smash Brothers Melee tournament, let us know. Sound off in the comments. Were you ever getting paid to ride Fixed Gear, Tone?
Yeah, but very small checks. But getting paid.
That's You were a real pro.
No, I'm talking though, you guys. I'm talking like very small checks.
Numbers. You gotta give us a number.
No, at the time it was like, damn, this is small check, but to ride my bike,
like 300 a month.
Like $10.
All I will say is that
he still had to go watch.
Could you pay rent?
I paid rent, but
no. With that check,
the check helped me, and so whatever it was, I'm just appreciative of Vinny and Unknown.
So you could go to the 24-hour Walgreens and take pictures on the security camera and buy what you wanted?
I could, yeah.
Was Elliot also getting paid alongside you?
I'm not sure.
He's unable to disclose that information.
He deserved to have been paid if, should have been paid.
Signed
Do you still have
Fixie NDA?
Guys, I'm talking like a very small check here.
Fixie money, baby.
Yeah.
can't all get
it
paid
is.
like Red Bull riding style athletes, but hey, at least we're getting paid.
I wonder
right?
who the highest paid fixed gear freestyle athlete is of all time. Think it's Boothby.
Probably Boothby.
Got that Red Bull money, but maybe Reyes because he won 3 Red Bulls and that's $1,000 each win.
And he had
Yeah,
cell
my
phone
money's on
commercials.
Slum. Yeah, definitely that. The contests. In total, I'm gonna go Slum.
Yeah, I think I would say that also. What's your favorite bike build that you've had? Besides, you can't say your bike now.
Dang, because my bike now is dialed.
I love your bike.
Okay, my favorite bike build. It was probably the T1 with the smaller wheel up front. It's not a 26. What is
650.
650?
the 650B? Yeah,
You had a 650B, not a 650C?
yeah, it was a B. And I don't know why. I think it was maybe just because like that's what was available. But I was able to bar spin on the T1 with the T1 fork on it. That one was probably my favorite bike, just because I was able to do it all. I was able to commute. I worked at the mall across town at the time, so I was able to ride 10 miles to work and back home, and then also just like session at the parking garage, you know? So that was probably my favorite build. It was cool. The tiny, tiny bars, we're talking like only the grips on either side of the
Right.
stem.
Right.
Easy bar spins,
Oh yeah.
just like, yeah.
I mean, that's why I still ride such like skinny bars on my trick track bike.
Yeah.
Even though
Look at the
even
wrist.
though the community is all about the wide boys now.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that T1, actually, I first started doing hot bar spins on that, and I did a what I believe was the first 180 bar down a stair set on the fixed gear, on that bike, in like
Dang.
09 or 10 or something. It was down a 3 stair in downtown.
I can see J-Ball's forehead split open and he's just writing down in the encyclopedia. And then he's closes the flap and it's just in there forever now. It's cemented.
I did start a list of like firsts, like who were the firsts to do stuff, but it's not very in depth yet. But I'll keep that one in mind. So you threw bar spins relatively like early, and then you kind of stopped. Why?
Well, I should say that I never threw a bar spin on a BMX bike. And I just started throwing them on the fixed gear because I started doing like the pull-up bars, like the wheelie bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the natural progression from there was just to do the hot bar because that's what everybody else was doing, like Eric Puckett, AJ Austin. I think they started doing hot bars. And so I was just following the trend really. And I started doing it once I got like on the unknown. I was doing the Milwaukee and then the unknown. But then I just got really scared of them. Too many jammed fingers. Too many miss the bars and take it right in the gut or in the crotch. So
Dang.
yeah,
Well, I feel like even on the Milwaukee and unknown, it was rare to see you throw bar spin. I saw you throw like a half cab bar, and that was the most bar spin I've ever seen in a video of you. But you said you were doing 180 bars. Like I remember you threw a 180 bar at the RVA Jam off of that big ramp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy. That's a big 180 bar spin for the time.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Bar spin that day was wild.
The vibe at that jam was really crazy though. I don't know if you remember, but it's like outdoors. There's like still snow on the ground. It was so freezing, but like this was Midwest Mayhem round 2, where everybody was meeting each other for the second time on the East Coast. And that's where I first met Congo, and Congo's energy. So when he's there, everybody's just like stepping it up.
Yeah, that it was. You guys set up like the box down the stair set, and then you had the kicker into the grass hill. Did you guys who organized that? And did you guys get like permits? were there permits for that, or did they just set them up? And
I think that they just set it up. I don't know who organized it, but the antics from that trip were crazy too.
Any notable
Laser from the
stories?
hotel. What's that?
Oh, I said any notable stories, but I think you're already getting into it.
Yeah, green laser from like the hotel room, fireworks. You know, like the Roman candles. Actually, Chris and I drove from Milwaukee through a snowstorm to that jam. And then we ended up staying with Tom LaMarche and maybe even the guy from the UK who has the mustache.
Super Ted.
Super Ted. Yeah, I think we may have stayed with him. If we didn't stay with him, he was there. But there's just like antics at the bar. There's like a video premiere and somebody started throwing glasses on the ground and we all got kicked out. And then somebody ran over somebody's birthday cake. It was, yeah, that was a fun trip.
It was I have the flyer in front of me. It was the Death Pedal 2 world premiere. Apparently. Dang.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know Tom LaMarche was there too. That's awesome.
Oh, wait. He was there all right.
Dang. And
he was the ringleader.
was he a leader of a lot of the antics that happened?
Tom is a fun guy.
Yeah.
The epicenter of destruction.
Tom knows how to have a good time.
I've never met Tom. I'm so sad about that. Well, I met him once, but it was like so brief that doesn't count in my head. Never hung out with Tom.
We'll give him to come out for a Midwest Mayhem 4.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, he's the defending Midwest Mayhem 2 champion, so he's actually legally obligated to come back out.
Yeah.
Did he do a lot of tricks during his run, or did he just do that big 3?
I think he did have I think he had like a decent run. But the last part of it he did spend on the 3. He got a flat and did it on somebody else's bike. You said it was Wonka's bike, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how we think that Wonka was there.
It was Wonka's
sure?
bike. What was that?
Okay. You're sure he was there?
I promise you, because there's a Sam Erickson recap of Midwest Mayhem 2 that shows Wonka doing a tooth hanger at the like one tooth hanger, and then there's no other footage of him. So that's the only I saw him. It's the only trick I've ever seen him do from all the competition footage. And he wasn't in any of the street riding edits either. So what the heck happened to Wonka that weekend?
I wish I knew. I wish I remembered anything, but I definitely wish I remembered that. But anyway, yeah, I think he tried it twice on his bike, got a flat, and then used apparently Wonka's bike and did it.
Yeah, he did it. He couldn't do it on his P-Fix, but landed it on the goat first try. Coincidence? Who knows? I want to talk to you about Mountain Dew.
And Mike Chacon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Why was Murder Beast saying that?
Oh, at Midwest Mayhem?
Yeah.
I think, was Chacon ever in a Mountain Dew commercial or anything?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't remember him being in one.
I don't think so.
I think Murder Bee just like associated Chacon with like corporate, and of course with corporate like sponsorship comes Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah.
And so this is when he was doing like the air on the vert wall, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. There must have been like a running joke at the time, and he just was using it as his inspiration.
I actually wanted to bring up Mountain Dew not because of that, but because of the Mountain Dew video on Fixed Gear when they came to your Milwaukee skate park.
Yeah.
Well, how did that happen?
There was a crew in Chicago, Seth and a couple of other people. I can't think of their names right now, but they had given us a heads up that the Mountain Dew guys were going to be filming like a video for it's like an X Games like side video thing, right?
I think so.
And so we all drove down and met up with this crew, and they just filmed us. And I think, do you have it?
Yeah, I know where to find it.
Okay, yeah, please share it with me because I haven't seen it in so long.
I will.
From what I remember of it, it's just like really short, and everybody has like, I think Rick has a lot of clips in it, right?
Yeah, Rick does. You have clips in it.
And they're all silly clips. Like, we're just...
Oh, yeah, you guys, like, didn't even land it. You guys didn't even land anything.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't... Oh,
Did they interview us in that? Or is it just us writing?
No, they interviewed someone. I don't know who it is.
Okay.
But Chris is in it, too. Was Chris with you guys? Because I could have sworn he was in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, I'm just gonna send you the link for you to have later, and I'll be putting that footage over the this podcast as well. Hopefully Mountain Dew doesn't copyright the footage.
Imagine.
Look, they might. I tried to post. I tried to take Red Bull official Red Bull Ride Style coverage and put it over the podcast once, and it got copyrighted, which was crazy.
They the media machine though, so to be expected.
Hey, Red Bull has reach. It was Red Bull Riding Style. I don't remember what year it was, but when they came out with the black and white backpacks, for the riders,
2012.
I put mine on eBay the same night that we got them, and it got taken down for some reason, and my whole account actually got banned.
Oh my god.
And I'm pretty sure Red Bull pulled some strings and they were like, we're not going to let you sell this thing, you know. So
dang.
That's my conspiracy theory.
Big Mountain Dew.
You had affiliation with Mountain Dew, so they weren't going to let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Big Dew, keeping the man down.
Always.
How was your experience with the Red Bull Ride Style competitions? Was it enjoyable for you?
It was cool.
And would you consider yourself a competition rider, really, or no?
Funny guys. No. Did you see me at SMC just rolling around like an old guy? No. And of course, my Red Bull runs, clearly not a competition rider. Unless I have home field advantage at Four Seasons, which was cringe of me to do. No, not a competition rider, but riding style was fun. I mean, they treated us like real athletes, you know, having like a lounge space or whatever, and giving us like that package that had the backpack and like whatever stuff was in there, the headphones. It felt really cool, and it felt like, whoa, Fixed Gear is going places. Like, we are actually being recognized by Red Bull, and we're being given all this stuff. Unfortunately, it didn't last very long, but for that weekend, it felt great.
Did you compete in the first one?
No. I think I was still in Milwaukee at the time.
Were you invited?
No.
That's really surprising, but whatever. Because the first one was in 2011, and I feel like by then you were Antonio, you know, like you were putting out sick edits and like getting recognized and like already way like levels above everybody with your grind tricks and stuff like that.
Maybe I have to check my email. Maybe I was, and I just never saw it.
Imagine. I feel it's possible. Yeah. Do you consider yourself a competitive person though?
Yeah.
And do you just not feel it with biking?
When I know that no, I mean, I do, but like, I also know when I'm just like not gonna, I know when I'm outmatched, and so I pick my battles.
I don't want to hear it, dude. I don't want to hear that. We all know how good you are.
You can't say that.
You can't say that. You can't say
Mr. Humble.
You technically did have a close home field advantage at SMC, so
Yeah.
you had that in the bag. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true. That's true. I haven't been in that park in 10 years, but you're right.
Home field advantage.
I think even when
You
you
were
were
there when it was built.
even when he was here, he didn't ride it that much.
No.
Yeah, we rode it more before it was even open to the public.
Right.
Yeah. You guys rode. It seemed like you guys rode Ghetto more.
Yeah, we did. It was now thinking back, MLK is definitely closer. Maybe they're equal distance. I don't remember.
It was still a good. No, it wasn't too long. It was at least 10 minutes for both, for sure.
Ghetto was just a good hangout, though. There was always people there. There was always something popping off around there. Matt was the Foursquare mayor for a long time of Ghetto. I still have screenshots of Foursquare was fun. I wish we still did that.
Are there
That's the game. That's the game, J-Ball. It's not Smash. It's
Foursquare tournament?
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite Fixie Factory memories that you're allowed to share that you that are your favorite?
These all happened allegedly.
Alleged stories.
Okay, this one's gonna be weird. But one time, Cole and I forgot
Hector?
who he was with, but no, I forgot their name, but they wanted to come over and sleep over. Oh my god, this sounds weird. But, yeah, okay, fine, but only if you guys bring snacks.
No, I feel like that was one of the rules. You have to contribute to you guys living in there because it was why else would you what? Yeah, you guys were broke sometimes, and you guys needed money and food. So that's why they loved my mom because my mom used to work at the student store, and whenever I'd come over during the summers, I'd bring them boxes of fucking chips and shit. They'd be like, "All right, pizza, you're good for the weekend."
Yes. And so Cole, bring snacks, and I remember they brought green mac and cheese and all these candies, and yeah, it was great. We made green mac and cheese, and remember we played video games. Yeah, I mean we're just having a good time.
That's the story you pick out of all the memories.
I don't know. I'm just thinking back to okay, well, also all of the parking lot sessions, getting our nicknames from Solo. Solo was one of the guys that lived on that block. He came across us and gave us all street names.
What were they?
Which is why I think I was two-tone. There's a video of it. I think it's in the Cold Clips. But everybody got a name. Congo, Matt, Chris, Sean Coates, Corey.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, everything that happened. Playing ping pong on a TV that we found on the street, which then turned into a giant glass mirror, which then Joe broke, and then we got an actual ping pong table, which took up the whole living room, and we really only had a foot and a half to stand on either side.
Plus all the bikes in there.
And finally went outside.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff happened there.
How was that life? Thinking back now, how was that lifestyle compared to how you live now?
It was it was crazy. I mean, the door was always unlocked, so you didn't know who was gonna be there when you woke up. Privacy was not a thing. Cleanliness was not a thing.
No.
I feel like cleanliness was always because I didn't really go over that often. I wasn't super close with you guys yet, but if I did go over, I always just remember I didn't want to touch anything.
Oh,
It was so
Oh dang.
Dude, it was it was
that bad?
it was grimy, dude. Towards
The stove was not was
that
never
like seeing it in clips and stuff, it looked like a hazard area. Like,
Dang. I gotta watch it back. I don't remember it being that bad. But Congo did have well, we had Kim living in there for a while, and she spruced it up. She gave us curtains, and
a woman's
the
touch.
place got clean. The
Yeah.
place got clean for a bit. That didn't last too long, but the place was clean for a little bit.
It was on the up and up.
3 months. Yeah.
And he
No.
he broke the window, and that happened like once or twice, right?
Yeah, no, that
That was
happened
in the
once.
That was
We-
in the
for some
bamboo
reason-
shades.
Yeah, we had like a giant stick hanging from the rafters up there or whatever, from the molding up there, and Corey like threw a ball, and the stick fell down and like bounced into the window. So we just had like a broken front window for her.
Do you have anything like to as any type of memorabilia from Fixie Factory? Do you still have?
Yes.
Really?
Not easily accessible, but I do have. I don't know if you remember like that wooden plank that I had above the door with like the Packer logo and the Fixie Factory.
Yeah.
I still have
Yeah.
that.
Oh, sick.
How many
Made
Read
right.
my new shit, right?
No.
how many fast food posters did you guys steal?
Oh,
Allegedly.
many posters.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah, I mean that we found in the trash. Yes, so many we found in the trash. Like Doritos, Locos, Tacos, window clings, giant McWrap, lawn ornament things. Yeah, I mean we. Oh, there's that the energy drink. That one flipped upside down as like 2 blueberries and like a cranberry, and it looked like this. And Corey could do the face really good. Corey, if you're watching this, please do that face. You know the face.
Just do that face. By the way, Fixie Factory wasn't that dirty. I remember I started
It was dirty.
I started coming around in like 2014 when I started going to college there, and we would get some night sessions in. That was fun because I was finally featured in a power hour. It took till power hour 11 for me to get there, but we made it. I think that was the last one too.
Yeah.
The power hour series was one of my favorites. It was like Colt Clips and Power Hour. Those were like the 2 best ones.
Mm-hmm.
Those were great. And he had like, there's this one, I can't remember. I think it's a power hour, but it is a power hour for sure. Where Oscar Khan is just like being an insane person and like Fixie Factory, like outside of the.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss all the guests, man. There's so many people who come from like all over the world. Him Chan, I miss Him Chan, man. Him Chan was great. He was there for
was
like
there for 3 months.
yeah. He
stayed
gained
for
like
his
30
whole
pounds.
visa. Yeah.
He gained like 30 pounds because Joe would always take him to Taco Bell every day, McDonald's every day. Somehow still had money. Man, I miss Him Chan.
Yeah, Him Chan was only supposed to stay for like 2 weeks, I think. And he ended up staying for 3 months. Stayed for his whole travel visa. And on his very last day, he got a Fixie Factory tattoo on his leg with an American flag on the inside of it.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Do you have a Fixie Factory tattoo?
Yeah.
Like-
You can't see it, but
Let's see them legs, Tone.
Oh yeah.
right here.
The stick poke was a big thing back then. I remember.
Do you have a raw tattoo
you guys were
also?
getting
Yeah.
Other
Here
leg?
we go.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Nice legs.
Thank you.
You were,
flexibility, we'd like to see the range of motion.
you were involved with some of like the best things to come out of fixed gear. Like RVA and Fixie Factory are like two of like the most impactful groups in Fixie freestyle history.
Yeah, I was just really lucky to be on Trick Track, and I'm pretty sure that's where I met Tori. And I mean, looking back now at the Raw fam, it is stacked. Like everybody on that team, it is just so cool to look back and like see what we all did and where we're at now. Be cool to get like a reunion at some point, but yeah, that was cool. Fixie Factory's cool. I just got lucky.
I want to see a Raw reunion video where everyone doesn't have to do crazy tricks, just like gets together for a session and like just who was on Raw? It was like Mike Schmidt, Gus, you, Sam Hansen, Colin Foster, Nasty was on at one point. Wonka was on at one point and then wasn't. I don't know.
Oh. Gus. Miles.
Oh yeah, Miles.
Colin. Yeah, Sam, Colin, Oscar, Miles, Kareem, Gus, Schmidt, LaMarche. Yeah, no Wonka.
No Wonka. I think I heard that Congo was on there for a second too and was then off quickly.
Yes.
Can you do you know anything more about that?
No, but I would love to hear it from Congo someday.
I
totally forgot about that.
We'll have to get Congo on the pod. We're starting to get kind of towards our like we're almost at an hour and a half, and we don't need this to go for 2 hours, even though we could talk forever about this stuff. But I want to know, before we like finish, I really want to get to like why you kind of fell off of fixed gear and then why you came back. What's the story behind that?
Yeah. I don't remember what year it was exactly, but I started to like phase out of riding. I got a job, just like cleaning buses in Anaheim, and I just started to like not really have the passion for it anymore, because I was cleaning buses and the checks were very, very, very small.
For buses or for buses or fixed gear?
I mean, both. Enough from both where I can like pay rent, but I just started like, I don't have a college education, and so I started to get to the point where like I was getting like a little freaked out, like what am I actually gonna do with my life?
And how old were you when you were thinking this?
Maybe 24, 5. I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking around that age. So just thinking like, what am I gonna do? I'm like cleaning buses. I'm living at the Fixie Factory, which is like a kind of a shithole, but it's fun. But at that time, like I wasn't riding anymore, so it started to lose some of its magic. And I remember like being on the phone with my mom one night. I was just like, just to be very honest with you, I just like broke down. I was like, what am I doing over here? Like, can't ride bikes forever. Like, I don't even like it anymore. And I'm here in California and thinking about going back to Milwaukee just to figure things out. And I just stuck with it, sort of just stopped riding and just focused on work. Focused on getting a new job, which right at that moment I landed a position at this company. Around that time I had also become vegan, and I found a job at the company that gave you free produce. So I thought, great, I got a new job, and that just ended up snowballing into like an actual career, one that like, I moved to Long Beach just riding bikes, and I never thought that I'd get a career out of it, like in produce buying, produce procurement. So, so I just put all of my efforts into that, and riding just was not a focus at all. At that point, it was just pretty much, I need to do good in life. I need to be able to support myself and figure it out. And so I ended up moving to San Francisco for like a promotion, and since then I've been with 2 other companies. I'm in a really good spot now, and yeah, so that's pretty much like how I got out of riding. But the whole time I kept my bike just to keep it. I got to San Francisco. I knew that there was a scene here, but I moved to Treasure Island, and I didn't have a car. And if you know the Bay Area, Treasure Island is an island in between San Francisco and Oakland. And so without a car, you're not really going to get anywhere.
You in no man's land.
Yes, 100%. Like no gas stations, like one market.
Wow.
A lot of biohazard areas that are like closed off, like seriously no man's land. Right when I got there, Mike Schmidt told me of one spot. I went over there, I filmed like this fakey wall on this silo thing. And that was pretty much the last time I touched my bike for, I don't know, like 4 years. Narlos, Alex, had my bike at his house for that whole time because I was just living in an apartment and with my girlfriend in a small studio. And he had moved and gave me the bike back. I was in a place where I could take the bike.
This is the Pagan?
Girlfriend, what?
Is it?
It was the Pagan, yeah. My girlfriend was out of town, my girlfriend Megan, and I was bored. So I took the bike out and I was like, okay, I think I can do it. Yeah, so just picked it back up from there.
Dang. Just because you were bored.
Yeah, I was bored. It was there. I had broken my wrist a year prior to getting into riding. So I was a little nervous getting back into it, but I had bought a brace right before I got into it and took it slow. And still, like to this day, even like with the wrist brace that I have, it really sucks to ride. Because like these basic things that I'm doing, I feel it 100% in my wrist.
Oh wow!
But I'm still having fun doing it.
Yeah, you found fun in it again.
Yes, now that I found a balance in other parts of my life, I'm able to get back into this and feel good about it.
Wow!
I remember the excitement in most of us where we finally saw you post just getting back out on your bike. I remember
there's so much
the
hype.
3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just we were like, holy shit!
Wait,
is that Antonio? He's on his bike because after COVID and everything, there was a big resurgence, and seeing everyone come back, and myself included, seeing everyone come back, and then finally seeing, oh, Antonio's back.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's real.
You were the cherry on top of like, yes, that's the person we wanted to like come back. I'm pretty sure we all like me, Pizza Deacon. We all messaged each other when you were like on the up and the resurgence, and we're like, dude, do you see Antonio? He's riding again. I don't think you realize how beloved you are in the community and how much people love your riding and you as a person. So I hope you know that.
Well, I mean, I definitely feel the love. I felt the love when I first posted those videos, getting back on it, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's cool to be back here with y'all.
Also, I want to say before we finish, how do you feel as being the person who like started the trend of having long pegs? Because like I remember when the your peg came out, and like my BMX homies were buying the unknown peg because it made crooks easier on BMX. They were like, nobody makes a peg this long. And I was like, yo, like there's a fixed gear company that makes one. And it's like, they were like, no way. And they bought it and they're like, dude, crooks are like a thing now. Like you can just do them on anything. Wow. And I feel like you started that trend of
I feel like that too.
Long peg.
Metal pegs.
I had no idea that BMX guys were using them. That is really cool to hear. I love the Animal OG peg. And that's what we wanted to be, just like a millimeter longer than the OG, which it is. And yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's cool to hear. I wish that I had more. I just have like one partial box left, and that's it.
I was gonna say, do you still have those for sale on an Antonio Big Cartel?
I'd have to find it, maybe, and I hope that I'm not getting orders. I got to check my email for orders and for the first Red Bull invite.
Imagine you've been getting all these. You've been getting all these customer complaints for years about non-shipped orders.
My Big Cartel's banned, probably.
Just like your eBay account. Are there any questions that you guys have, Pizza Deacon, before we hop off of this one? Cheese hat man.
On a scale of stinky to cheese, how big of a cheese head are you? I say that
you can see.
Cheese gang.
Cheese gang.
Duke Dude and I are cheese heads. Duke Dog.
Okay. My final question is: what is your favorite fixed gear solo edit of all time, or DVD?
I'm just gonna say, of all time. I'm gonna say Matt's most recent edit.
So good.
Just because it was so good, like just the combo of tricks and style. And I commented on his Instagram this, but in living with him and seeing what his style was then and to what it is now, and just to see him like still pushing it, like every day, just like nonstop. It really is inspiring. And although like it's a recent edit, I would say that's right now probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, dude, he really hasn't slowed down. Like only on the up and up and up and up this after so many years, because he's like definitely one of the like longest riding riders that are still riding, I think. And he never quit at any point. It's crazy. Anyways, Antonio, any shout outs before we finish this one up? Anything you want to say, or questions for us even that you want to discuss as a group?
Dang it, this is my worst part of interviews. No, I don't have any questions for you guys.
Shout outs?
Yeah, I do have a shout out to the Sunday Circuit Club. That's the crew from the Bay Area that gets together every Sunday, even on holidays.
You guys have an official crew name now?
Sunday Circuit Club. Yeah, I don't want to name the names because I know I'm going to forget somebody, but I will give a shout out to Andy Sparks, who runs it. And the way that he organizes these sessions is so sick. We have a text thread, but he'll post something the night prior with, like a pin, a summary, just like a full-on invite every week.
Dang.
Fancy.
Yeah. It is awesome. And then with words of encouragement after the sessions too. So yeah, I can't list everybody because I know I'm going to forget somebody, but shout out to Andy for just getting it together every week.
Shout out to
we're going to Sacramento. It's going to be fun.
Shout out to Andy, man.
Ooh. Shout out Andy.
Yeah.
Who do you think, Antonio, that we should get next on this pod?
I think you should get Corey and Matt together.
We couldn't do them separate. I feel like it would just be hilarious.
Yeah. We have thought about this. Together. We actually have thought about this. Ooh,
they are
that'd be a hell of an episode.
Corey and Matt together, but also just like in the future, after you've hit all the big names, I would say start to go like crews, like crew reunion, like the like maybe Fixie Boys or like the Calvin Gunt and Michael G crew.
Fixie Warriors.
Yeah. So that would be fun too, just to see like all of these people here and just back together and just going over the stories.
Yeah, it was really cool to see Michael Gunt at the competition.
Mm-hmm. Those pictures were awesome.
And Don was there too. That was sick.
True. All right, everybody.
All right.
Off-
Last question.
Ooh,
I'm cutting you off, J-Ball.
No, that's fine.
Antonio, what is the world's best sandwich?
Jesus Christ, dude.
His answers are different. Just FYI.
Oh, right.
Okay. You guys were just arguing over this the last pod, right?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I used to work at a place called Jimmy John's.
You work there?
Yes.
The Jimmy John's, I think it's the number 9, the Italian nightclub, was my favorite.
Great sandwich.
Or the Beach Club. I think that was another one. But those two were my favorites. Italian nightclub more so.
So an Italian sub.
I'll go-
Italian sub.
What's your
No.
favorite as a vegan sub though?
Jimmy John's.
A Jimmy John's Italian sub.
Yeah.
No, well, oh, no, good.
I don't think that I have, like, off the top, a vegan sandwich. I like to make a ham and cheese, extra mayo, mustard, whenever Megan and I go out. It's like Shasta or something. Like, that's our go-to for, like, camping or just, like, picnics or whatever. Yeah, just a homemade sandwich.
To add on to that question, is a croissant a
Okay.
sandwich?
Is a croissant a sandwich without filling? I think it's just a piece of bread.
No. It has a ham and cheese inside, but it's not cut open. It's the croissant is whole, no cuts, but there is
It's just
the ham and
plunged
cheese.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would consider that a sandwich. It just doesn't have a slice, but it still has contents, right? So I guess I would consider that a sandwich.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Is going out on that?
Yeah, we're gonna, I think we're going out on that. Off track, Antonio Wothe episode. Antonio, thank you so much for coming on. You're a legend. We all look up to you, and we're so happy to see you still pushing it and riding. If anybody else wants to see any guest on the Off Track podcast, please leave it in the comments below. Any last words, anybody, before we finish?
Put your comments down below. Give us some topics. Ask us some questions. Ask Antonio some questions. Clarify some of his stories. Give us your story.
Yeah, and just shout out to you guys for doing this. I think this is like really sparking the sport and keeping it rolling. So shout out to you guys for doing this.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for. Thank you for listening / watching. We'll see you in the next Off Track podcast. Take care.
Pizza Man took an L, dude. Pizza Man took an L.
Fuck you.